There's some things that are a necessity while we are having a human experience. We find that our biological selves, the avatar, the identity, the vessel, requires some basic needs. So, necessity rings true. Necessity is fine. Necessity is, well, necessary. However, what's laid out as structure, what's laid out as quote-unquote guidelines, what's laid out as this is what you gotta do, the process, the way to get something or from point A to point B, or this is how it's done, or this is how you do it, or basically structure, okay? And structure is not necessary. Structure can be based on, or gets more pronounced with history, with certain accumulated experiences that then make it at least potent enough to stand almost factual. But structure doesn't imply necessary. Structure does not mean the way or the only way, nor is it necessary. Which is why I always encourage fruitfully to experience every experience with abandonment, with curiosity, with awe, with sheer curiosity, with the joy that comes with that curiosity, and to live that experience not just beyond structure, but with no structure in sight at all. And this is where I believe that a lot of them out there, they mix it up, or they confuse the two, or they settle enough to think that what is structure, what is laid out, or what is it to be done, or what's expected, that these are necessary, that these are the norms, right? The notions, the ideations, the ways to live. And so they perimeter themselves with these ideas, with these mere thoughts, even though they're not necessary. They seem necessary. They've almost grown necessary because of how many people bark behind it. But the truth stands that it's not necessary. It's not necessary at all. And so you wonder, why is it that so many opt for what's been laid out instead of actually creating their own narrative, instead of actually creating their own experience, living their own experience on their terms, on their authentic terms, on their wants, their desires. And again, I mean genuinely thinking from their source, untainted, untouched, absolute source of the self. And again, I think, or I believe, that many don't opt for that, don't try and do that even, because of all these, again, all of these fears, all these dreads, that again is all part of subconscious programming, part of a structure, part of a way to live, part of this, yada yada yada, you get me. And so that in itself already by default places them in a place where this is the trend, or this is what's normal, so let's just go with the crowd. it's safer, it's known, so I guess it must be the way. If we deviate, or we're gonna look like a bunch of idiots, or we're gonna look like a fool, or we're gonna look like a nutcase, you know, when quite frankly, it's none of that. And funnily, when there are the minority that actually do, I wouldn't say deviate, but actually do have the courage to create their own story, to actually create a human experience that's very authentic and unfolding from a place of true authentic source. It's not about that they're ridiculed, but when they do that, they're admired, but admired and respected, and eventually, for most, even envied. Mainly because it can be so inspiring, but can also remind so many of what they are unable to grasp within themselves to actually do, right? So a lot of people lack that courage. It's not that they don't have the courage, they lack the ability to embrace that courage enough to make that change, enough to actually live out their story the way they would like to have their story lived out by this identity of theirs. And so you find everyone doing the exact same thing, right? They're all just roles, everyone doing the same thing. It's all performance, a bunch of performance. Okay? It's a bunch of performance. And so this is where they grow complacent. This is where they feed themselves further deeper into that lie. And they almost are convinced that this is the way, that this is necessary, right? Because anything else, anything less, anything otherwise, well, that's some batshit stuff, And so, I mean, this is where they settle, I feel. And it's not so much that they necessarily confuse. I believe some do, but I also believe plenty just settle. They actually, whether knowingly or unknowingly, perimeter themselves from all the abundance, from all the possibilities, the ways that a story can unfold, right? And I would know this as a writer. So just as your human experience, you have abundant plenty of ways how you could unravel or unfold or write a story, and you choose, to not write. You choose to not create. You choose to not enrich it with your own authentic source. You would rather just take a template, that you see that seems to be working for everybody, although clearly it is not. And you just, you do the same thing, and it just goes, it's over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And again, like I said, that's what I mean. Is they're necessary, and then there's the well, I would say optional, okay, but the structure is optional. If the structure genuinely works for you, okay, but I think it's safe to say it really, really does not work for plenty, most, if not all. I understand people do like structure, but you can have structure in a variety of ways, and even in your most authentic sense. You can create your own kind of structure, right? With everything, even when you create your own kind of life and experience, you have a kind of structure to it, right? But it's just not that rigid. It's more flexible. It's more, fluid. So that's the beauty of it, is that you just keep, you keep oiling it, you keep fueling it with this flow, with this magic of serendipity, of this spontaneity, of this thing which has no fucking barriers. You just do it, you just go. And this is the thing. This is where most people are so I don't know, for lack of a better say, terrified of not actually, going forth and making this happen for themselves, and what else are all the benefits that can come for those around from that authentic source, from that authentic reservoir. And this is where I would say it's a shame. It's a real shame. And so, yeah. But it really boils down to one simple fact, and that is there is the necessary, which is the basic needs for this biological body, this biological vessel that we have somehow inherited while having this human experience. And there's the optional, there's the structure, there's the idea, there's the things that have been put forth, posited, which again are optional. And if you want to really live your human experience, I would say try and have it in you to actually write your own. So you may have lived years and years on a template, but you can start now. You can write your own story now, and so yeah, this is where most settle, most grow complacent. Just know that there's always evolution, there's always expansion, there's always dilation, there's always more, and creativity is such that structure is, well, not quite an ally, and creativity is such that it's absolute fireworks, and you could see it from a mile away, you can see it near you, and it has that effect. And creativity is curious, so live it up, make that come alive. And if you don't have your curiosity on speed dial, it should be, because inherently that is who you are as awareness. You are the creative force, and when you dabble too much in the worldly, too much in all this consumerism, too much on the earthly, too much of the material and the digital and all of this that's come forth from people, from fellow beings, while having this human experience, when you allow yourself to get so consumed by all that, your creative force takes a back seat. You almost forget about it, actually. And suddenly you're not operating from that inherent place. You're operating from a place that's not actually you. From a guideline, from what should be done, from what is expected, from fear. So I say, check the fear and say hello to creative force. Say hello to you. Say hello to the power that you house, that you are, more importantly. So, yeah.